Hare Krishna, welcome everyone to our Srimad Bhagavatam review class. We'll begin with our prayers. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्ते तप्त कांचना गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी नितिनामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna, welcome everyone. We are discussing from the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam and we are discussing the beautiful pastime of Lord blessing Sudama Brahman. So Shukdev Goswami, he continues the story describing the pastimes of Supreme Lord. That Supreme Lord, he had a friend named Sudama who was very poor, but he was very, very devoted. They were so poor that the wife, she was so very upset because she was not able to serve her husband properly. She requested, oh, Lakshmipati is your friend, please go and ask something. He will surely give. Although Sudama, he didn't want to ask something material, but he thought maybe, I'll get darshan of the Lord. So let's go. So all the while he was thinking, oh, how I will reach, because how I will meet Krishna, because Krishna is Supreme Lord, he is Dwarkadhish and I am a poor Brahmana. With these thoughts, as he reaches Dwarka, he crosses 3 gates and he comes to the palace of Rukmini. When Krishna, he saw, oh, my old friend Sudama has come, he ran out of the palace in the courtyard, he embraced him. All the residents of the palace, they were confused. Who is this personality who is getting such attention and such respect and worship from the Supreme Lord? So Krishna, he welcomed Sudama, he gave him nice reception, made him sit on the same throne where Lakshmi, Rukmini Devi would sit. He worshipped Sudama and then he started speaking. He reminded him of the old days when they were together in Gurukul. Krishna reminded of the pastime, the incident when they had gone to the forest and there was a huge rain. In this way, Krishna, he pleased Sudama with beautiful words, nice reception. That's what we discussed. So today we'll continue with the 81st chapter, another very beautiful continuation, which is entitled Lord blesses Sudama Brahman. So Shukdev Goswami says that Hari, Supreme Lord Hari, he knows everything. He is omniscient, supreme personality. He knows whatever is there in the heart of every living being. And Krishna, who is devoted to the Brahmanas, he was smiling and laughing and speaking with Sudama so very lovingly. So Ridan Maharaj writes in the purport that Sridhar Swami, he tells that Krishna is Sarva Bhut Mano Abhigya. Sarva Bhut Mano Abhigya means he knows whatever is going on in the heart of each and every living entity. Our every thought, our every action is witnessed by the Supreme Lord. Ishvara Sarva Bhutanam Ridadeshe Arjuna Tishtati. And he is watching Upadrashta Anumanta. So Krishna, he knows the minds of everyone. And therefore he could tell. At once he could tell that my friend Sudama, he has brought something for me. And he is not giving. So Krishna, he smiled at that moment. Chakravarti Thakur writes that, Krishna is thinking, yes, I'm going to make you show what you have brought for me. So he smiled, and then he laughed, because he was thinking, how long you are going to hide what you have brought for me? The precious gift which you have hidden in your cloth, how long you will hide? So Krishna, he actually glanced on the bundle of the chipped rice. It was hidden. Sudama had hid that bundle of chipped rice packed in torn cloth. Krishna, he glanced at that, and he was telling Sudama by his glance that, Dvijam Dhamani Santatam, last chapter describes Kuchailam Malinam Shyamam Dvijam Damani Santatam Devi Paryacharam Sakshat Chamar Vyajanena Vai. Kuchailam Malinam Shyamam. Sudama was a Kuchaila Brahman. Kuchaila Brahman means he was very poor, dressed very in dirty clothes, because he was a very poor beggar, poor Brahmana. Kuchaila Brahman. And he was so poor that all the veins were visible. Dhamani Santatam. So Krishna is telling Sudama, oh Sudama, the veins, showing through your emaciated skin and your poverty, it will not last more than 3 prahars. Only till morning it will last. So that is why Krishna is smiling. So then Supreme Lord, he speaks. Kimupayanamanitam brahman me bhavata grihat anvapi uparitam bhaktai premna bhuryeva me bhavet bhuryapya bhaktoparitam name toshaya kalpate. Very beautiful verse Krishna is speaking. Such a hope-giving verse. Such a profound. Krishna is revealing his heart here. He's telling, किम उपायनम, क्या लाए हैं आप मेरे लिए घर से, किम उपायनम आनितम भवता में गृहात, from your home what you have brought, just like when two friends they meet after a long time, oh what is the gift you have brought for me? So Krishna is asking, oh please tell me Sudama, what you have brought for me? So Krishna is telling, have you brought something? Because I know you have come and your wife must have given something for me. But Krishna, Sudama, when he hears this, he may think, oh, actually I have brought something, but I am very embarrassed because it is very, very meager. Anu api uparitam bhaktai. Krishna is telling, oh, don't worry, Sudama. Anu api. Even if my devotee brings little bit, a very smallest of the gift which is offered by my devotee, it pleases premna, if it is offered with love. If the devotees, they offer with love, even a little bit of offering, whatever they have, if they offer, I am pleased. Bhuryapya bhakto paritam. But, oh Sudama, if a non-devotee, if a person is not a devotee, even if he gives great offering to me, bhuri api means great offering. Name toshaya kalpate. I do not like that. That does not satisfy me. So that is how Krishna is explaining, is showing his heart. Krishna is pleased by the love. He is not hankering, he is not having any scarcity of any of the resources. Lakshmi Shahasra Shata Sambrama Sevyamanam. Millions of Lakshmis are serving him. He has everything, is Akhil Koti Brahmanda Nayak. Only thing which he wants from all the living entities is to offer their false ego. Use free will, independent free will, which Lord has given us, and surrender to Him. Therefore, Krishna is telling, Name toshaya bhuri api abhakto apaharitam. If a abhakta offers me a great offering, that does not satisfy me. So that's what Krishna is telling. Even if my devotee offers little, I am very, very pleased. So Jiva Goswami tells that actually Krishna is speaking in a joking way. Just like when two friends meet, they'll, they sometimes joke. So Krishna is telling, your wife must have sent something for me. So, and you are not showing me. How can you do that? Please show me, please give me whatever your wife has sent for me. So Sudama, hearing this, he may tell, actually, when I took this offering from my home, when I, when my wife gave this offering, I didn't think much about it. I just took it. But now I am realizing, now I am considering whatever I have brought is not suitable for you, O Krishna. You are Supreme Lord. And I have brought a very, very insignificant offering. So, seeing this mindset of Sudama, Krishna tells the famous verse, Patram pushpam phalam toyam yo me bhaktya prayachati tadaham bhakti uparitam ashnami prayatatmanah. Krishna is repeating the same verse which he has spoken in 9th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Patram pushpam phalam toyam yo me bhaktya prayachati. Whatever my devotee offers with bhakti. So bhaktya word has come twice here. Yo me bhaktya prayachati tadaham bhakti uparitam. So Krishna is telling, I accept which is offered with bhakti from a bhakta. So a real devotee, when he is offering something with devotion, then Krishna accepts it, even if it is a insignificant offering, whether a flower, a fruit, a little water, or a leaf. Krishna is satisfied with that offering. Krishna is not satisfied by any external show. He is pleased by the intentions. He is not pleased by externals. He is pleased by the internal attitude. Nothing of this world can please Krishna. Nalam dujatvam devatvam rishitvam va suratmaja prinanaya mukundasya navrittam na bahugyata nadanam natapo na ijya na shaucham na vratani cha priyate amalaya bhaktya hariyanyad vidambanam. So Prahlad Maharaj is telling to his friends, to my friends, to please Krishna, there is only one way. Priyate amalaya bhaktya. Amal bhakti, unalloyed devotion is only pleasing to Krishna. Krishna is not pleased by somebody who is a brahmana or a devata or a rishi, not by high knowledge, navrittam, not by wealth, na bahugyata, not by scholarship, na danam, not by charity, not by tapasya, not by worship. Nothing external of this world pleases Krishna. Only bhaktya prayachati. Actually, Krishna is telling in this world, in this verse, ashnami, I eat it. So Krishna is so very overwhelmed, so very grateful, so very happy. If devotee offers something to Krishna, he is so much bewildered that even if a devotee offers a flower which is meant to be smelled, Krishna eats it. Because he is bewildered by the love of his devotee. Ashnami prayatatmanaha. So hearing this, if somebody asks, so Krishna, will you refuse the offering if a devotee of another deity, another devata gives you something? Krishna says yes. Then I'll not eat anything. I'll refuse to eat it if it is not offered with devotion. I'm not hungry for the articles. I'm hungry for the love and devotion. In Bhagavad Gita, in this verse, Chakravarti Thakur, he writes in commentary in Sarartha Varshini, he says the word used is Prayat Atmanaha. Prayat Atmanaha means very significant. Krishna is telling a devotee should be pure in the body also when he is offering me something. If my devotee is not pure in his body when he is offering something, I do not accept it from my devotee also. So externally one should be pure by taking bath and being very clean. And Atmana can also mean mind. Mind should also be clean. Mind should also be very pure. So that is what Krishna is speaking. Very beautiful verse. And then Sudama, still he's feeling too ashamed to give the chipped rice, the flat rice which he has brought. Seeing the grandeur of the Dwarka palace and realizing, oh, he's the supreme lord now. He's the husband of goddess of fortune. So he didn't give. And he just put his head down in shame. Sudama is telling, he's thinking, how can I let the husband of goddess of fortune eat this hard chipped rice which I have brought for him? I will not give him. So in this way, he decided, let the Lord make fun of me, whatever he wants. I will not give him. And then he tells on, my Lord, please do not mock me. Although you have requested me to give, but I will not give. I have decided I will not give you chipped rice, whatever I have brought. But the Lord was thinking, you should have decided this before you brought it from your home. Now you have brought it. So please give me. Why are you not giving? So Krishna is also very, in a very loving mood, joking with Sudama. He's telling, you should have thought about it before you brought from your home. Now you have brought it. Now you have to give me. And then says, Shukadeva Goswami continues that being the supreme witness in the hearts of everyone, Krishna, he fully understood why he has come, why Sudama has come. Krishna understood. And Krishna is thinking, oh, in the past, Sudama never worshipped me for anything material. He's always worshipped me for pure devotion. But today now he has come to please his wife. Therefore, I'll give him all the riches. Which even Devatas, even Brahma, even Shiva, even Indra cannot have. I will give him. Very beautiful commentary is written by Chakravarti Thakur here. Krishna is thinking, how can my devotee, he has become so poverty stricken? Seeing the condition, Dvijam Dhavani Santatam with all torn cloths. Krishna is thinking, I have taken a vow, Name Bhaktya Pranashyati, Ananya Shintayanto Mam Ye Jana Paryupasate, Tesham Nityabhiyuktanam Yogakshemam Vahamyaham. Krishna is thinking, I have taken a vow that I will provide what my devotee lacks and I will protect what he has. How come ye Sudama itna garib kaise ho gaya? How he became so poor? Actually, devotees, they should get appropriate enjoyment, right? Although they do not want sense gratification, but appropriate sense satisfaction should be there. It is actually a byproduct of serving God. Even if devotee does not want it, he is satisfied serving Krishna, but Krishna gives sufficient sense gratification for a devotee. So Krishna is in thought, thinking, kya chal raha hai? What is the problem? Why he is so poor? Then he understood the fact. He realized that this Sudama, actually he did not worship me with material desires. So actually there are two types of Nishkam Bhakta. Chakravarti Thakur writes, there are two types of Nishkam devotees. One devotee is who dislike material enjoyment. They do not like it. And others, they are neutral towards sense gratification. They are neutral towards material objects. So those who dislike sense gratification, they will not get such enjoyment. An example is Bharat Maharaj. Bharat Maharaj, he gave up. Ye daragar putrapta, so he says no. Jaho yuvaiva malvat uttama shloka lalasa. He gave up all the kingdom, wealth, property, wife, children, just like a person gets up after passing stool, doesn't even look at it. They're completely disgusted with material enjoyment. So they will not get it. Krishna will not give them. But those who are neutral towards sense gratification, oh milega chalega, nahi milega, no problem. I don't want it anyways. So Krishna, he gives them sense gratification. And example is Prahlad Maharaj. He was neutral. Krishna gave him all the enjoyment. Narasimhadev said, you will rule the Devata, all these demons for crores of years. So therefore, Krishna, he understood, oh, this Sudama, in this life and in his previous life, he disliked sense gratification. He didn't want any of it. Therefore, he's so poor. Then, Lakshmipati, Supreme Lord Krishna, he said, even though now he has come because he was sent by his wife, but his wife is also not at fault, because she didn't want for herself. She wanted for her husband only. So therefore I'll give him wealth which is not even attainable by devatas. And thinking like this, what Krishna did, he snatched away the bundle of chipped rice, flat rice, which Sudama was hiding under his cloth. And then pointing towards that bag, said, oh, have you brought this for me? Very loving interaction going on between Krishna and Sudama. I have mere liya hai kya? He says, it gives me such a great pleasure. Actually, these few grains of rice will satisfy not only me, but entire universe. Yatha tarormul nishechanena tripyanti tatskanda bhujopashakha pranopahara chatathendriyanam sarvar arahanam yathachutejya. It's like watering the root of the tree, nourishes the entire tree. If you satisfy the Lord, entire universe will be satisfied. And there is a famous story when Pandavas were in Vanvas, and Duryodhana, he sent Durvasa Rishi along with his 60,000 disciples to meet Pandavas at the time when Draupadi had taken her prasad from Akshay Patra, because after Draupadi eats, Akshay Patra won't produce any more food. So, but Krishna, he came at the right moment and he asked, is there something remaining for me? Draupadi said, already I am so very sad because I am not able to feed the sages, and now you are asking Krishna and I don't have anything. Krishna said, no, just see, something must be there. So Draupadi, she found, oh, there is only one grain of rice which is stuck. Krishna honored it, took it, and he was satisfied by the love and devotion. And all the 60,000 disciples of Durvasha, they were also very happy and satisfied. They're not happy, they were full. And they started becoming worried. Oh, now Bhima, if he comes to know, he will beat us up. So let's go run away. So therefore Krishna is telling, oh, just few grains which you have brought for me, it gives me such pleasure that not only me, entire universe will be satisfied. In this way, he ate one morsel. And as he was about to eat the second one, Rukmini Devi, she caught hold of the hand of Krishna. Why? Very interesting conversation, Chakravarti Thakur describes. So Rukmini is telling, she is not speaking. This is a mental conversation which Rukmini is having with Krishna. She's telling, oh my lord, if you eat all this wonderful offering which Sudama has brought for you, then what will remain for us? And for my maidservants and all your co-wives, we will be bereft of such wonderful mercy. And even if we get one grains, we will not be able to distribute to everybody. But to her maidservant, she just by the movement of her eyebrows, she said, this hard rice is not good for my lord's stomach. So therefore she caught hold of his hand. Sridhar Swami, he makes another wonderful commentary. He is telling that, oh my lord, only one morsel you have eaten, this much of rice is sufficient to give this Brahmana unlimited wealth. If you eat one more, I'll have to become the servant. I'll have to surrender myself to this Brahmana. Please don't do it. You know. So Prabhupada in the Krishnamukhi comments that when food is offered to the Lord with love and devotion, he becomes so very pleased. And when Krishna is pleased, Lakshmi Devi automatically becomes pleased. She automatically gives all the opulence. She enters the house of her devotee and gives him all the opulences of the world. So Rukmini Devi, she says, oh my lord, this is enough. This is more than enough. Actually, this one morsel, one handful which you have eaten, this is enough to secure this Brahmana the wealth of the entire world. And oh my lord, after all, because Lord is thinking, this is a mental conversation going on. So Krishna is thinking, oh, I want to give my friend Sudama great wealth. That's why I want to eat more. So Rukmini Devi is telling, oh my lord, you don't need to eat more. Just one morsel is sufficient to give him entire wealth. If you are satisfied, what is remaining for him to achieve? He has already achieved everything, oh my lord. So therefore, please don't eat more of this tasteless, hard rice. And in this way, Krishna is so very happy and pleased by just one morsel, one handful of flat rice. And he honored Sudama. He talked to Sudama very nicely with all the loving words. In this way, Sudama spent that night in the palace of Rukmini, and he thought as if he is in spiritual world. He was in such ecstasy, such bliss he was experiencing, that he was thinking, I have come to the spiritual world. Of course, he was there in the spiritual world. So next day, Krishna, he bade farewell to Sudama. He didn't give him anything. Just he gave such wonderful reception, such nice words, such wonderful conversation they had. And Sudama, just by experiencing all these things, he was extremely delighted. He was overwhelmed. So Chakravarti Thakur writes that Krishna, he is a creator and maintainer of the entire universe. What was difficult for him to create? What was the difficulty? He could have created a huge house and he could have given Sudama there, right there. But he didn't give it. Why? Because he was thinking that, oh, Sudama, he has given me everything, whatever he had. What can I give him? I cannot give him whatever I have because I have unlimited. So Sudama, as he was returning, he was too shy to beg because he had come with a purpose. His wife had sent him to ask something, but Sudama was too shy to beg anything. And he was just happy and satisfied with the loving reciprocation which Krishna had. So simply he returned home completely satisfied, remembering all the nice exchanges which Krishna had. And he was in complete bliss. And therefore Sudama, he expresses his bliss in 4 verses. Sudama is telling, oh Krishna, who is known as the Supreme Lord, he is devoted to the Brahmanas today. He is Brahmanya Dev. Today I have personally seen how he is so very respectful and so very devoted to the Brahmanas. He has given me such respect. Who am I? I am a poor beggar and Krishna embraced me. क्वाहम दरिद्र पापियान क्वा कृष्ण श्रीनिकेतनः ब्रह्म बंधोति स्वाहम बाहुभ्याम परिरंभितः. Who am I? Kwaham, I am a daridra. I am a poor beggar, poor brahmana, papi, and I am so sinful. Sudama, he was so humble. That is a devotee. The more a devotee advances, the more he thinks he is fallen. The more he thinks he is sinful. Rup Sanatan Goswami, they are telling, Jagai Madhai Hoite Mui Se Papishta. Kaviraj Goswami is telling, Jagai Madhai Hoite Mui Se Papishta Puri Shera Kito Hoite Mui Se Laghishta. We are more fallen than Jagai. I am more fallen than Jagai Madhai. Rup Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, they are telling, Jagai Madhai Hoite Koti Koti Gun Adhama Patit Papi Ami Duijan. So they are telling, oh, Jagai Madhai has had hundreds of good qualities and we are fallen. What was the fault we have? Malechha Jati, Malechha Sevi Kari, Malechha Karma, Gro Brahmana Drohi Sange, Amar Sangam. We are Malechha. We are doing all Malechha Karma. We are associating with Malechhas. And we are so fallen. Oh, just see, Jagai Madhai has so many good qualities. What good qualities Jagai Madhai had? Brahmana Jati Tar Navadvipe Ghar, Neech Seva Nahi Kare, Nahi Niche Rakur Par. They are telling, oh, they are Brahmana. They have their home in Navadvip. They never served any Malechha. थोड़ा पाप किया उन्होंने, थोड़ा सा. सबे एक दोषतार है पापाचार. पाप राशि दहे नामा भासे तोमार. Oh, they have done some sinful activity. What sinful activity? Chitragupta was fainting, maintaining the records. He had an entire department separately for Jagai Madhai. And thoda paap kiya. So that is how devotee is always humble, thinks that I am so very fallen. Somehow by mercy of Krishna, somehow by mercy of Srila Prabhupada, we have come in this association. Yesterday was Srila Prabhupada's 125th appearance anniversary. And His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj, he was speaking, he was telling such wonderful point. He was telling, Srila Prabhupada is founder Acharya. One of the meaning of founder Acharya is he found all of us. So Srila Prabhupada, he found all of us and he offered us at the lotus feet of Radha Gopinath. So that is our fortune. Otherwise, we have no fortune. Because all of us, we have come with such baggage of karma. But Srila Prabhupada and our current Acharyas, they are so merciful that they are purifying us and making us sufficiently pure to be offered to Krishna. Sudama is telling, oh, Paham Daridra Papiyan, oh, I am so fallen, so sinful, and just see, what is the proof that I am sinful? I am poor. A person is poor only because he has done sinful activity in the past. Daridra dosho gunarashi nashi. If somebody is poor, that poverty ruins all the good qualities. There is a famous Subhashit says, Bho daridra namastubhyam siddhoham tava darshanat pashyamiham jagat sarvam namam pashyati kashchana. So it is a very funny Subhashit where a person is offering his prayer, a beggar is offering his prayer to the Devata of poverty. Bho daridra namastubhyam, oh the poverty, oh Devata of poverty, offer my obeisances unto you. Because of you I have acquired a siddhi. What siddhi I have acquired? Pashyami aham jagat sarvam. I can see the entire world. Namam pashyati kaschana. Nobody is seeing me. I have acquired this siddhi of being invisible. Actually, what he's telling is nobody is paying any attention to me because I am so poverty stricken. You know. So that is how he's telling I am so sinful. Kwaham daridra papya. Who is Krishna? He is Sri Niketana. He is husband of goddess of fortune. He is full of all the Shaktis. And just because I am born in a family of Brahmanas, Brahma Bandhu, I'm not even a Brahmana. I'm a Brahma Bandhu. Just for the namesake, I am a Brahmana. But just because I am a Brahmana, you know what Krishna did? He has embraced me. Bahubhyam parirambhitah. So amazing. He embraced me not because I am his friend. He embraced me because I am a Brahmana. Lord is devoted to Brahmanas, and that's why he has shown such mercy to me. He is so very affectionate. Just see, he treated me just like his brother. Huh? I'm so very fortunate. He made me sit on the same bed of his beloved consort. He made me sit on the bed of Rukmini Devi, the goddess of fortune. Shushrushaya paramaya pada samvahanadibhi pujito deva devena vipra devena devavat. Shushrushaya paramaya. Such humbly he served me, with such affection he served me. Personally, he washed my feet. Pada Samvahana Devi. Adi means so many things he did. He offered arti and he, anointed me with sandalwood paste and all the fragrances. So many things he did. Who is Krishna? He is worshipped by Deva Devena Pujito. Are he is worshipped by the Devatas, Gandharvas, Kinnar, Charana. They are dancing and offering all the respects. And he is serving Vipradevena Devavat. He is the object of worship of all the Brahmanas, and he is worshipping me as if I am a Deva, I am a demigod, I am a Devata. So Sudama is so very absorbed. That is how, the simple way to please a person is to serve him, give him respect. That's what Krishna has done to Sudama. He didn't give him anything substantial wealth, just served him so nicely, welcomed him, he spoke so nice words. So to please a person does not require any big things. If we speak with the person nicely, with sweet words, give him all the warm reception, that is sufficient to please that devotee, to please that person. Swargapavargayo pumsam rasayam bhuvi sampadam sarvasam api siddhanam moolam taccharanarchanam. Rama is telling, in heaven, Swarga, Apavarga, in liberation, and Rasayam, even in the subterranean planetary systems, and on entire earth. Sarvasam api siddhanam, whatever perfection is attained in any of these places, everything is attained by Tat Charana Archanam. If somebody offers pure devotional service unto the lotus feet of the Lord, one can attain everything. A person does not have to do anything extra, no extra endeavor. Whatever is obtained in any of the planetary systems, everything can get by serving Krishna. Nanaka prishtam na chaparameshtyam na sarvabhaumam narasadhipatyam na yoga siddhira punarbhavam va samanjasatva virahaya kangshe. So therefore, Vrittasura is telling, oh my Lord, I don't want anything. I do not want sovereignty over the heavenly planets or the lower planetary systems. I don't want mystic siddhis. I don't want any material thing. I just want to serve you, my Lord. Because that is the perfection. The perfection of everything in this world is to serve Krishna. Idam hi pumsa tapasa shrutasya va swishtasya suktasya cha buddhi dattayoh avichuto artha kavibhir nirupito yauduttama shloka gunanuvarnanam. Whatever perfection one achieves in any of the material fields of this world, if somebody is a great orator or a poet or a writer or whatever, if he is not offering to Krishna all his capacities, it is all waste. So Sudama is thinking all these things as he's returning. He's absorbed in ecstasy, remembering such loving reciprocation Krishna did with him. He was thinking, oh, Krishna thought that if this poor wretch, poor Brahmana becomes rich, he will forget me because he'll get intoxicated. Therefore, Lord did not give me anything. Otherwise, Lord knows everything. But he knows that if I give him something, he'll become intoxicated. So therefore, in the 8th canto also, Vamana Devi is telling that if a devotee is given all these things, Vidya, Tapo, Vitta, Vapu, Vayo, Kulai, all these things, if a devotee gets and is not proud, Mad Anugraha, Tatrayam Mad Anugraha. You should understand that he has achieved my mercy. Only a devotee of the Lord will be able to handle all the opulences of the world because he will offer everything in service of Krishna. So therefore, Sudama is thinking, he gave me such wealth. What was that wealth? The wealth of association, intimate association. In front of that wealth, what is the meager wealth of this world? So as he's thinking all this, he reaches his place. And Sudama, when he reached his place, there was no hut, no thatched hut, no signs of poverty. There were palaces at the place. All the place was full of wonderful palaces, thousands of attendants. There were gardens, there were cities, parks, there were courtyards and nice roads. Every palace was decked with sapphire, emeralds. The pillars were shining. Sudama, as he saw this, he wondered, what is this? And whose property is it? Kiska hai? Kahan se hai? And then he said, how has this come? So first, seeing the effulgence of that place, because the entire place was full of palaces which was made of shining jewels. It was effulgent. So he first asked, what is this? Because he could not see anything because of the effulgence. Because just like common observation when you're traveling in the car or your vehicle and some vehicle comes from front, bright light falls in the eye. You cannot see anything. So Sudama, he sees the effulgence. He is not able to see anything. What is this? And then somehow slowly he recognized, oh, there are palaces. Oh, whose property is this? Mera to nahi hai. And then realized, this is mine only. This is my place. And then he thought, oh, how did this happen? Ye kaise ho gaya? So Jiva Goswami and Chakravarti Thakur, he describes that while Sudama stayed overnight, Krishna, Lakshmi Devi, she transformed entire place, entire that village where Sudama was staying. And when the wife of Sudama, she became beautiful like goddess of fortune. When she got up, she slept. When she slept, she was a poor Brahmani with all tattered clothes, or thatched hut, completely dilapidated. She got up. She was amazed because she was now in the palace. she also became transformed completely. She was now a beautiful lady with all nice garments, jewelry, ornaments. And she understood as soon as she got up, she saw all these transformations. She understood this has happened because of my association, because of my husband's association with Supreme Lord. And then because she was now the queen of the palace, she had so many servants and the maid servants. So she sent few of the people to go and wait on the path to welcome her husband. So as he continued, Sudama is now seeing all this. He's wondering what is happening here. So beautiful servants and the maid servants, they are coming to welcome him. They are offering respects, obeisances, because the maid servants are also very beautiful, very nicely decorated. And when these servants they approached him, Sudama, he realized, oh, I think he understood this is the mercy of the Lord. And he accepted all those servants because they were sent by Supreme Lord. And when the wife of Sudama, she heard, oh, my husband has come. Immediately she ran out of the palace. And when Sudama, he saw her. She was completely amazed. The wife, she greeted her husband with loving eyes full of tears. She was so very happy, overwhelmed by the love. Interestingly, Chakravarti Thakur writes that the wife was transformed and she became goddess of fortune, like goddess of fortune. But Lord did not transform Sudama. He was still poor. Kuchailam malinam shyamam dhujam damani santatam. Still he was poor. He was having all the veins all over the body visible, all torn clothes. Why? Because wife could recognize, otherwise wife will not recognize mere husband pata nahi kaun hai ye. So that's why Sudama was still in that situation. He had not transformed. Lord had not transformed him. He was still looking like a poor beggar. So Sudama, he was completely amazed to see all this wonderful transformation, and he understood that, oh, just like it is all mercy of the Lord, and therefore he accepted it. And as soon as the wife of Sudama came, and Sudama was so very happy, and along with the wife, as he was entering the palace, he also got transformed. His body was transformed. He became young, beautiful, covered with all the nice ornaments and the garments. That is the wonderful nature of devotional service. Krishna is so very wonderful, Supreme Lord. He does not like his devotee to suffer. One very interesting thing which Shukdev Goswami describes, although Sudama he attained such wealth, still he didn't become proud. He didn't forget Krishna. He continued in that akinchana mood. What was the glory of the palace of Sudama? The bed, Shukdev Goswami describes the glory. What was the palace? The beds of Sudama's palace were as soft as the foam of the milk, as white, as soft. The bedsteads were made of ivory and covered with gold, and all the royal paraphernalia were there. All the maid servants, they were also dressed very royally. Royal charmer fans were there, thrones made up of gold, soft cushions, and the walls were made up of sparkling, glittering, glass bedecked with emeralds and crystals, and the canopies were, hung, which had pearls. It was a very opulent condition. But still, Brahmana, this Sudama, he didn't get affected. So Sudama, he's seeing all this. He started thinking. He says, actually, I have always been poor and suddenly I have become rich. This is all mercy of the Supreme Lord. Because Krishna has glanced upon me, that's why all this wealth has come. So somebody may say, so Sudama may think, oh, but if he was about to give me all this, then why he didn't tell me? Aare bata dete. So, he's given me from back all these things in a hidden way. Why? Then he realizes, actually, I didn't ask anything, but still he's so merciful. He has showered his mercy like the rain clouds. Just like the rain clouds, Chakravarti Thakur writes, the rain clouds, they think that this farmer, he is giving such worship. I don't deserve all this mercy, all this worship. So therefore, rain clouds, they are so very indebted to farmer. They think, oh, in front of what this person is giving to me, I have nothing to give. Whatever little I can give, it will be insignificant in front of him. So therefore, I will not give him out of shame. I'll give him rains when he's sleeping. So therefore, the rains would always come during night time. So Krishna, he showed his mercy like the rain clouds. That is a beautiful nature of Krishna. He's thinking, my dear friend has given me a quantity of rice which is more than what he eats himself. That means he has given me whatever he had. He has given me more than his capacity, but I cannot reciprocate with him properly because I should also give him wealth which is beyond my capacity, but I cannot do that because there is nothing which is not in my capacity. So Krishna is thinking, how can I reciprocate with him? He has given me everything. So therefore, what I'll do, I'll give him some meager things. I'll give him the treasure of Indra, Brahma, and all the devatas, which are insignificant. So that's why Sudama is thinking, oh, he's like the rain cloud who has given mercy, thinking that, oh, he has not done anything much. That is the position of Krishna, such a wonderful Supreme Lord who will not fall in love with such personality. Wonderful verse now, Sudama is speaking. किंचित करोति उरुअपि यत्स्वदत्तं सुहृत्कृतं फल्गुअपि भूरिकारी मयोपनीतं पृथुकैकमुष्टिं प्रत्यगृहीत प्रीतियुतो महात्मा. It's such a wonderful verse, worth meditating. किंचित करोति उरुअपि यत्स्वदत्तं. If Krishna, he gives something magnificent, the greatest of the benedictions which Krishna gives to his devotees, kinchit karoti. Krishna is thinking, I have not done anything much for my devotee. Insignificant. Surit kritam falgu api bhuri kari. And even if a devotee gives him little bit, he magnifies it so much. He thinks, wow, my devotee has given me such a wonderful gift. That's why I brought only 4 palmfuls of flat rice. Mayopanitam prithukaika mushti. Ek mushti liya unhone bas. Such pleasure he had. Pratyagrahita pritiyuta mahatma. He was overwhelmed with bliss. So that is the wonderful nature of Krishna. Even if a devotee, he offers his whatever a living entity can offer to Krishna, he has nothing. We have nothing of ours. But if we offer our little devotion to Krishna, if we offer our free will, if we offer our insignificant independence to Krishna, if we agree to become dependent to the will of the Lord, Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam braja. Krishna, he says, wow, this devotee is giving me everything, whatever he has. I cannot give him anything. Whatever I can give, it will be not anything in comparison to what he has given for me. So that is a beautiful nature of Krishna. So that should be the meditation. If Krishna is such a wonderful personality, what is the problem in surrendering everything? Because Krishna will give such a wonderful thing in return that we cannot even imagine. And the greatest thing which Krishna gives is he gives himself. Ichha pidhanam nijpada pallav. He gives himself to his devotee. What can be a greater benediction than that? So that's what Sudama is remembering. Tasyeva me saurida sakhya maitri dasyam punarjanmani janmani syat mahanubhavena gunalayena vishajyatastas purushas prasangah. Now another very beautiful verse. Sudama is praying for three things. Tasyeva me saurida sakhya maitri. Please give me love, friendship, and sympathy. Please give me love for the Supreme Lord, friendship towards the devotees, and sympathy for all the living entities. That is a prayer for all the devotees. Vaishnavas Namaruchi, Vaishnav Seva, Jivadaya. This is what all the devotees they ask. Tasyeva me saurida sakhya maitri dasyam punarjanmani janmani syat. Let me become the devotee servant, life after life after life, servant of the devotees. Gunalayena, Mahanubhavena, Gunalayena. Just see the Supreme Lord who is the reservoir of all the wonderful qualities. Such a wonderful personality. Visajjatastat Purushas Prasangaha. May I cultivate firm attachment unto him. Similar prayer was spoken by Parikshit Maharaj. He says in the first canto, O my Lord, O sages, if I have to take birth again in this world, please give me one benediction. Punascha bhuyad bhagavati anante rati prasanga chatadashreshu mahatsuyamyam upayami srishtim maitresu sarvatra namo dujebhya. If I have to come back again in this world, Bhagavati Anante Rati. Please give me intense attachment for the Supreme Lord. Prasangat Chatadasresu. Give me association of your devotees, of the devotees of the Lord, and Maitrastu Sarvatra. Just like he's telling Maitri. Give me friendship for all the living and mercy, let me be merciful towards all the living entities. So hearing all this, Lord may say, but you have devotion, right? And result of devotion is, so somebody may say that you have devotion, and the result of devotion is that you have got wealth, right? So now says, no. The result of devotion is not wealth. Then what is the wealth of the result of bhakti? Bhaktya chitra bhagavan hi sampado rajyam vibhutirna samarthayatyajah adirga bodhaya vichakshana swayam pashyan nipatam dhaninam madodbhavam. Bhaktya chitraya bhagavan. The Supreme Lord, out of his humility, now Sudama is telling, actually Supreme Lord will not grant all the opulence of all this kingly power and the wealth of this world to a person who is not very mature, because he knows that if a foolish devotee of mine is given all this wealth, he will get distracted. But I am not even a devotee. That's why Lord is giving me all this. I'm so very unfortunate. I had no devotion. Otherwise, Lord would not have given all this to me. Because I am foolish. But because I am not a devotee, Krishna has given all this wealth to me. Otherwise, why he will give wealth to his devotee who is foolish? Because he knows a foolish devotee will get distracted from the path, from my devotion. Therefore, out of his humility, he's thinking, Prahlad Maharaj was given such a wealth and the kingdom and sovereignty over entire Bhumandal and all the lower planets because he was a very, very intelligent devotee. But I am fool, still I am getting, that means I have no devotion. So therefore he's saying, what is the use of all that? What is the use of gaining all this wealth? So with this in mind, Sudama, he continued to worship the Lord, sleeping on the ground, and along with his entire family, he was completely devoted to Krishna. And Lord, he does not, so Chakravarti Thakur writes in the purport that Lord does not increase the wealth of a devotee so that he can enjoy. Why Lord gives opulence to his devotees? So that the devotee uses the opulence in the service of the Supreme Lord. Otherwise, Lord will not give him. Lord will not give devotion. So therefore, Shukdev Goswami continues that Sudama, he remained devoted to Supreme Lord throughout the life, continued serving him. He was completely free from greed and he enjoyed all the wealth given by Krishna in detached consciousness. Namo akinchana vittaya nivritta guna vrittaye atma ramaya shantaya kaivalya pataye namah. Kunti Maharani is saying, Namo akinchana vittaya, you are the wealth of the impoverished. So a devotee, although he may get all the wealth of the world, but still he is akinchan because he does not have the possessive mentality. So he was, although he was enjoying with his wife all the sense pleasures, and but still he had one thing in his mind. He wanted to renounce everything ultimately. So therefore, Shukdev Goswami says, Supreme Lord Hari is a god of all the gods. He's a supreme ruler, but he accepts Brahmanas as his masters. He is the god of all the gods, but he worships Brahmanas as his worshipable deities. He is the lord of all sacrifices, but he performs sacrifices to worship Brahmanas. And by this meditation, this Brahmana, this Sudama, he completely detached himself from all the material sense gratification, and in short time he attained the perfection of life, went to the spiritual world. So Shukdev Goswami, he ends this chapter by telling, actually one more thing Jiva Goswami tells, that Sudama, he had a last trace of illusion. What was that? He had subtle pride of his poverty. Are main itna garib hu. That was the pride he had. So to crush that pride of Sudama, Krishna gave him all the wealth. Some people are proud of poverty also. Some people are proud of wealth. Some people may be proud of poverty. I don't depend on anybody. That may be the pride. So therefore, this Brahmana Sudama, he had a little pride of being a renounced Brahmana. Therefore, Lord gave him the wealth so that he may become completely humble. So Lord will make sure that we are purified completely of all our gross and subtle anarthas. And in the process of purification, many times it is not so pleasurable. The process of purification is not so pleasing many times. When the Samudra Manthan was going on, the poison, when it came out, it was not pleasing to devatas and demons. So when our purification is going on, the halahal wish may come out, all anarthas, conditionings may come out. But we have to just tolerate. Tam Satikshaswa, keep praying to Krishna that my purification is going on. Oh my Lord, please give me strength so that I can go through this purification. So in the Falastuti, Shukdev Goswami tells that Lord is always favorable to the Brahmanas, and anyone who hears this account of how Lord is so much favorable and merciful to the Brahmanas, he will develop unalloyed love for the Supreme Lord and will become free from the bondage of material world. So that is the end of this chapter. We'll stop here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Shri Krishna Bhagwan ki jai. Tantra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.